Radio on Super Talk 1270. Now, here's Travis Feist and Rob McLeod.
So welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Unriveted, a Dakota Customs original podcast. I'm your host, Travis Feist, and with me, and always, is my co-host, Rob McLeod.
Good afternoon, guys. Got a Thursday edition today.
Yeah.
I think that's the first
in a while. I think I'm kind of liking the Thursday, Friday podcast more than the usual Wednesdays.
I feel like Wednesday we're kind of at the peak busyness of the week, although things are lined out. And but Fridays, there's always a push to get stuff out the door before the weekend. So maybe, I don't know, maybe myself, I'm not quite as calm as I am right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Today seems like Friday. I don't know, the last couple of days seem like Friday.
You got Arizona on your mind.
I wish I did. I'm actually thinking about canceling. I got so much going on that it's hard to go somewhere and relax when your mind is still left here at the shop.
I already kind of figured that before you even told me, but anyways.
Yeah, so it's got so much going on and so much has happened.
Just take your darn lunch break, man.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. So anyways, yeah. School's back. I think, our fall's coming. Seems like once Sturgis is over with, it seems like that's when that's like your go-to point where it's a reminder for people to start wrapping up the fun. Like the boats are starting to come in, the pontoons. It's like the bikes aren't reaching out, doing trips. People are getting ready for school, their kids for school. And it's like, that's like the last hoorah of the season, and then people kind of like realize that
maybe
fall's coming.
Maybe that kind of leads into Labor Day, which is this weekend.
True. Yeah, it could be Labor Day.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, that first week of school is underneath the belts, and people start complaining about winter,
Yeah, it's getting to be that point. Well, you're starting to see the leaves are starting to change a little bit now, so I think that Labor Day is the last holiday, but I think the last event that people like is because people save up vacation time and everything for Sturgis, if you're like, that's what you're into, because that's what they look forward to every year. So it seems like once Sturgis, that's like their one vacation of the year, or their one, the one big, let your hair down kind of a ordeal is like Sturgis for the year. And I feel like that there's a lot more to offer in Sturgis than the whole bike rally, because what's interesting is, even with, I'm in the bike industry, and I'm not saying that I'm a biker, but I just I enjoy the sport. I enjoy what the motorcycle industry has to bring. And with us, being in the motorcycle industry, that I never really paid much attention to why or how Sturgis actually, and I shouldn't say Sturgis, the rally. It's the rally, how it got started. And it's crazy because people just assume that it was just a bunch of guys on a motorcycle, and they probably stopped at Sturgis and had a beer at the local saloon, and it's like, hey, we should do this again next year. And then that's like how it took off. But I don't really quite think that that's exactly how it went down.
Yeah, I've always kind of wondered how we've had this ginormous rally where it is.
Right.
I've always just it's like Sturgis is like global.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's worldwide.
Worldwide.
Oh, absolutely it is.
It is the biggest motorcycle rally to exist. So, and I've always kind of wondered how it got to that point. And you think about it, it's not called the Black Hills Rally. It's not referred to as like the Black Hills Rally, or it's not referred to, it's Sturgis, where it takes place.
Right.
Sturgis. So people say Sturgis. People forget that Sturgis is a town.
Right.
People refer to Sturgis as a motorcycle rally.
It's an event.
It's an event, yeah.
So it's crazy because when you talk to people, or people that are in the motorcycle world, you don't say, yeah, I'm going to the Sturgis motorcycle rally. No, you say, hey, you going to Sturgis? Or have you been to Sturgis? Or are you taken in Sturgis?
How was Sturgis?
How was Sturgis?
Yeah.
It's the town has so many meetings that just by saying that word, it means so much that people know what you're talking about, that you don't have to say anything motorcycle or anything for people to understand what it's about. But it's always, and it's crazy because I've always wondered, like, how this actually got started. And just like I said earlier, that's what I would have thought was just, a couple buddies, kind of like us on Labor Day when we went down there. Like, we went,
started a trend.
Yeah, and we stopped in, what was that town? It starts with a K. I can't remember what it was.
Custer?
No, I forget. But we stopped there and we had ice cream and we sat in the shade in that abandoned parking lot. Like
Custer.
that. Yeah.
I think it was Custer.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm thinking, like, that's how Sturgis got started. Like, these group of guys got together.
They just
and
did something.
Yeah.
And it was fun, so they wanted to do it again. And then
yeah.
kept
Except
on
I
being
don't think
fun.
it was ice cream, but, but I related
Moonshine.
to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably how it got started.
Well, I think we got the gentleman to kind of fill in our blanks for that.
Yeah. So we actually reached out to Brett Winslow. I think, Brett, did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my name's Brett.
Yeah, cool. And you're the chairman of the actual motorcycle club that started the rally. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah. We're the Jack Pine Gypsies, and we're the founders of the rally.
Cool. And what's cool about it is it wasn't even started with a Harley either.
It was started with Indians.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that would throw a lot of people off, that assuming that it probably started with a Harley Davidson, but it actually wasn't, which is interesting.
Yeah, back in those days, there were several brands, but the two big ones were Indian and Harley. And one of our founders was J.C. Pappy Hoyle, and he'd been a very successful ice salesman, and he kind of saw the writing on the wall. He thought, wait a minute, there's these electric refrigerators coming, and maybe I better look at doing something else. And he delivered a lot of ice on his motorcycle over the years, and knew a lot of guys that rode bikes. And he and some guys from Lead, some guys from Rapid City, and some guys from Sturgis decided to get together in 1936, and they formed the Jack Pine Gypsies Motorcycle Club.
Nice.
And that year, they actually had what they referred to back in those days as a field meet. I guess it would probably be the closest thing would probably be like a hare scramble nowadays. Call it a hare scramble. And that was the very first event. A lot of people thought it was a half mile or think it was a half mile, but the very first event that we ever held was called a field meet.
Nice. So
it's kind of tough to so now today bikes are 70% of the bikes that are on the road are highway bikes. Well,
right,
80% of the roads back then were not paved.
Yeah, right.
So these bikes were set up to be all-terrain vehicles essentially. So you could essentially race them about anywhere. You didn't have to have necessarily a track. So that's kind of funny how things have shifted.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's kind of the cool thing. The bikes that they rode in on are the bikes they raced. And so
that's cool.
In 37, they had a race at the half mile. And if you talk to all the old timers, they'll call it the Great Track. So we still have the half mile here in Sturgis. But anyway, that's where they raced it. It was a horse track, and they also raced cars on it. And in 37, they had their first half mile. And a lot of these guys came from all over the country and raced the bikes they rode in on the half mile. And then in 38, they had the very first, and that was the original rally. That's what they got together with a group of businessmen in town, and it was called the Black Hills Motor Classic. And that was the first official AMA-sanctioned race at the half mile. And I think there was 8, or if I'm not mistaken, maybe 9 participants in that first race, and it grew into what it is now.
Wow.
A lot of big changes.
Yeah. It'd be kind of interesting to know when that transition actually took place from where it became more of a hangout of the rally versus
a race,
more of the racing part of it?
You know, racing's always been part of it, and it's one of the things I think that kind of got downplayed somewhat over the last 15 years. But up until 15 years ago, it was always called the Rally and Racing. Now, you know, as things grow, and it's gone way beyond our wildest dreams.
Right.
You know, what the original vision was, I don't think anybody had any idea it was going to turn into, you know, one of the largest events really in the world, as far as people coming from all over the world. And so, you know, I think up until probably, say, the early 90s, you didn't come to the rally without coming to the Gypsies races. That was just part of the deal. There was a time in 1982 where, you know, up until 1982, the city park was the big place where everybody camped. And there wasn't a lot of campgrounds close to Sturgis. And so I think they could have like 3,800 people or 3,900 people, something like that could fit in the campground. And then, of course, they went to the other campgrounds throughout the hills.
Which is like a fraction of the attendance that shows up these days.
What's that?
Which is like a fraction of the attendance that you see nowadays.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, you know, what had happened there is it got, in some people's view, pretty much like a Mad Max movie at the park. So some of the citizens in Sturgis thought, well, we got to stop this. And so they put up a petition to see if they could get rid of the rally or at least quit funding the rally. And the citizens voted. 2/3 voted to keep the rally, and 1/3 of the citizens voted to stop the rally. So at that point, city council kind of decided, hey, maybe we better
roll with it.
we better roll with it, but maybe we better try to keep everybody happy. So they basically outlawed camping in the park.
Oh.
And at that point, that's kind of when we started seeing the other camps start popping up, like Buffalo Chips and Glencoe and some of the other big campgrounds that are right here on the edge of town.
And so that was back in when that kind of started taking over?
That was 82.
Wow.
And so I'd say 82 was probably, I mean, it had always been a party and also racing. So pretty much they partied all night, and then they'd go to the races during the day, races or hill climbs or that kind of thing, and do the tours. Like we do what's called the Gypsy Tour. And so everybody went on the Gypsy Tour. And but from there, I would say from 82, it just really morphed into, you know, just
more of a rally,
global event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bet. Go ahead.
Is there the Jack Pine Gypsies? Is that like, how big is that now? Is that a pretty big club, or is it still like?
Yeah, we're still a big club.
Okay.
You know, we have several different types of membership. We have full members who are actually people that are owners. And to become a full member, you have to be voted into the club, basically asked into the club. We also have associate membership, corporate membership. There's several different types of membership, but we have members of different types all over the world. And it's kind of crazy. In Japan, even, they have this really, you know, they like to copy things. They have this crazy subculture. It's a Jack Pine Gypsy subculture. They actually have a magazine that tries to emulate all the things that we do. So it's grown into things that we never ever imagined.
Wow. So it's basically the heart of it is still out of Sturgis then for the
South Dakota.
South Dakota, yeah. Like their chapter, like that's the head of it still is out of South
Main
Dakota.
chapter, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the one clubhouse that we have that's a real clubhouse. It's right here in Sturgis. So if you're driving through Sturgis on the interstate, off to the south, you will see a hill climb, a short track, and a motocross track.
Sweet.
And that's our club ground. And that's where our clubhouse is at, and that's where pretty much all the activity takes place. So if you come through Sturgis, it's kind of the showpiece. It says, we're Sturgis, here's what we're about. A lot of people are on the interstate, and they're probably wondering, what's that hill climb and what's that racetrack? Well, That's the Jack Pine Gypsies Club ground.
That's cool.
It'd be cool to see it. I've only been through Sturgis once in my life, and it's sad to say that, but I've never been to the rally. It would be cool to come down there and actually, off season, and I say that, for the rally, and come down there and actually see this. It'd be really cool. I'd really dig to do something like that, because I've never, like I said, I've only been through Sturgis once, and it was actually on my way through to it was a modified race for the God, I'm trying to think of what those cars were again, with the big wing on them.
Sprint.
Yeah, the sprint cars. Yeah, they had the sprint cars down there, and I think we went down there to watch them. So we came through Sturgis and stopped and had ate lunch or something there, and then continued our venture through there. So that was like my only experience with actual Sturgis. So I got to get down there and check out some of this cool stuff.
I thought we rolled through there. I thought we went to Sturgis.
No, well, I think we drove through there at night with the trailer, but we didn't. When we went on our bike ride, we didn't go through Sturgis.
Well, next year
south.
You guys got to come down to the rally. You guys can be our special guests. So, like during the week at all of our short tracks, we have a Run With You Brun class just to keep it. So we've never changed. So if you ride in here on your Harley and you want to race, as long as you have all the protective gear, helmet, gloves, boots, eye protection, we have a class for that. So you guys can show up and you can race the Run What You Run class.
You got a bagger class?
What's that?
You got a bagger class?
Rob,
yeah.
you're in.
I am in.
So in on that deal.
It's funny, with being associated with Dakota Customs, Travis essentially started the company building custom motorcycles, and so that a lot of our customers are into motorcycles. They always ask us, and you going to Sturgis, and I just tell them, no, it's like the whole party rally thing. It's just, if I take my motorcycle somewhere, I want to go ride it. I'm not really into just, hanging out and partying for 3 days, although that would be a good time. But now you're kind of enticing me to bring my bike down to the rally, because before I'd always just, if I'm going to go down to the rally itself, I'll just drive a pickup and leave my bike at home, because I'm not going to be doing any riding. But if we can race these things,
now you got a purpose.
I'm bringing my bike down.
Absolutely. I think that just brings a whole different meaning to go to the rally, because you're not just going to go down there and party, like you said. You're going to go down there and compete. Make something out of it.
I can party here. Any day of the week, that's fine.
You can party.
Oh, geez. But to go down there and watch races in a whole variety of races, well, it kind of just changes my perspective on things.
Oh, absolutely. How many?
Yeah, that's kind of. I think you guys would have a blast, and that's the thing that I think has gotten lost is, if you go to a rally, you want to be
the motorcycle spirit.
Yeah, it's about the camaraderie for sure. It's checking out cool bikes, but it's also making some memories and things that you only live once in life, and I think a lot of times most people forget that part.
Oh,
you got to make those memories,
and
that's kind of what we're about. And you can still make it to concerts, you can still you can do all the partying you want to, but come to the track. And it's kind of like, it's truly the essence of a route. You have that rally vibe going on. We have events at night. We have events during the day. In fact, during the rally this year, I think we did 9 events. And the year prior to that, we did 17. And we thought, that's just a little too much. But we do like a practice day for motocross. And so if you got dirt bikes, bring those down. You don't have to race. But at least you can get on a national-style motocross track and see what that's like, fully prepped. The next day we have a AMA race. This year it was the AMA South Dakota Championship. Then we do a short track. I guess we did a short track on Monday night, which if you haven't ever been to a flat track race, it's something you got to experience. It's a blast. And
those would be wild.
Those are the ones that we... What's that?
So those would be wild.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. We did a supermoto. One of our events was on Tuesday night. We had one of the nationals. We were round 4 of the AMA National Series. So we had some really fast guys here. We did it under the lights. We actually cut a hole in the fence, and we started them on some pavement. They raced up the pavement, turned onto the motocross track, which we had lit up with lights. Raced through that, came back down, got back on the pavement a little bit, turned onto the short track. So we basically had all 3 disciplines, and then we built a little jump where they had to jump out of the short track over a concrete fence and land on the pavement and head back out. The next night, we do what's called a verticross, and that's something that everybody should see. Basically what it is that we have 2 motocross gates at the bottom of the hill, and then we've built step-ups all the way up the hill, and it's kind of like a drag race. The gate drops, and anything goes. Whoever gets to the top of the hill first wins. And it's a double elimination event under the lights at night, and that's really almost kind of like a X Games party kind of a feel at that night. So that's something everybody should check out.
That would be cool.
The next day, yeah, it's fun. Next day we do a tour, and it's the original tour. It's called the Founders Tour, and we have 2 of our oldest members are the guys that are the road captains for that event, and tour throughout the Black Hills, come back and kind of hang out and bench race down. And we have a bar downstairs, so kind of a fun thing to do. And then we have a short track or a hill climb. I neglected to talk about that. Hill climb on Monday, which is a full hill climb. That's our pro day. So if you want to see probably one of the gnarliest hills ever, that's another thing you should check out. I pretty much try to make it where almost nobody can make it. And
so when someone does, they get all the glory. I like that.
Yeah.
What did you say, guys? I'm sorry.
So like when someone makes it to the top, they kind of get all the glory. I like that.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the
almost-
crowd's roaring.
It's almost
Right,
like
like
in
rock.
like sled pulling. The only one to make a full pull gets all the glory. The rest are just measured, you know.
Yeah, breaking rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You truly know your top
King of the
dog.
hill.
Yeah. But
It's pretty cool.
so have you guys? And you could have already said this. So, do you or have you ever held any AMA sanctioned races?
Yeah, actually, we did 2 this year, and I want to give a shout out to Bill Stort.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What the heck?
He's the owner of Rough Riders up there.
Yep.
He came down and raced me, and
He was on
he
our
and I
last
had a great
podcast.
Yeah, we
Oh,
know.
was he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're really good friends with Bill. Actually, we're actually talking about doing an unedited version podcast because there's so much more we want to talk about. But yeah, we've had Bill's. Yeah, he's a good friend of ours.
awesome guy.
Yep.
Super fun guy to race. I mean, he's fast, and he's not going to quit. You
No.
know, he's like been racing for
That's
a lot
for
of
sure.
years. And anyway, probably the funnest race I had all summer.
Cool.
So we had an AMA District 30, which basically, if you win that means you're the best in District 30. And District 30 is North Dakota and South Dakota. And I believe we're the only AMA off-road club in North Dakota and South Dakota. So we did that. And then we did the AMA state championship during the rally. And then
Okay.
we also had an AMA flat track and an AMA supermoto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, do you guys actually race then for the full 10 days of the rally, pretty much?
We do. Typically, it's for 7 days. You know, the rally used to be 7 days. Now they've made it to full 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
We do events throughout all those days, though. So, yeah, we're pretty much busy for the whole rally.
So, how many contestants do you feel show up? Or I shouldn't say, but like, how many entries do you get? Do you actually have to turn people away because it's so many, or do you have to be pre-qualified to do this? Because if you get, like you said on that one, you know, you bring what you race what you bring. I mean, you can't have 2,000 people sitting there and wanting to race this thing. I mean, it's got to be somewhat controlled. You know what I mean? But it's got to be a huge event.
It does turn out to be huge a lot of times. You know, it's one of those things where we're here to have a good time, so we're going to make it work. We really try not to turn anybody away. During like the Verticross night, that went till 2 in the morning. I think it was this week or this last rally.
That's
So
wild.
that one we may end up having to turn it into a two-day event. Whatever happens, we're not going to turn anybody away. Like on the Run What You Brung, last year we had Flat Out Fridays here, and I don't know if you guys know about them, but they did a really good show for us. And that whole race was almost comprised of Run What You Brung. There's so many classes. They have their regular classes, but then there was I can't even tell you how many people just showed up and raced that night. It was a blast. So
Wow.
yeah, we'll never turn anybody away.
Dude, you know, and that's just crazy how the fact that for as many years as I've heard about, you know, the rally, you know, for as long as it like burned up like a spot in your brain that you just, you know, you always know about the rally. I've never really heard about like this, you know, with the racing and all that. It's just the only thing you mostly hear about is, you know, the partying, the bands and stuff like that. But I've never, dude, it just opens your mind and your eyes to like a whole new perspective. Like,
it does.
As you're talking, like I'm thinking, we need to get like a motorhome. We need to get a trailer for parts. We need to get Rob start working out. We get him fit to start like racing his bagger, and like this is a whole new adventure for me to come down to Sturgis. That it's like I'm like thinking now it's worth it to come down there just for all this racing.
Got to start looking for more sponsors.
Yeah, like it could be a whole new adventure for us with Dakota Customs. That we're just going down there to take in this whole ordeal. That it's a whole nother venue of the rally than just the partying aspect of it. It sounds it's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, I think you guys should do it.
Yeah.
We'll be looking forward to seeing you if you do. You know, if you want to, we'll even do a special race for you guys. Like, something that might be cool is, I don't know, talk to Bill. Next time he's there, challenge him and Harley Davidson to a hill climb. So at the Verticross, challenge him to a race up the hill. So he can build what he wants to build, but make it to where they both have to be like Harleys versus Indian or whatever you guys want to build. And then we could build that up. We could have a great race between Dakota Customs and Rough Rider Harley.
Yeah, so
pretty cool for you guys up there.
Yeah, so I started this thing on our last podcast that I called Bill out that I want to have a bowling tournament against our shop against their shop, and then we'll make a trophy for bragging rights and whatever. And Bill looked at me with this most weirdest look, and then he started laughing, and he's like, dude, you're on. Like, it's a challenge. And he's like, nobody's ever challenged me before or even, like, done anything like this. So I'm thinking we're going to start with the bowling tournament, and then from there it's going to be like, all right, now we're going to compete down in Sturgis during the rally, and we're going to be, like, the best out of the hill climb, the best out of the flat track, and, you know, like, we'll make, like, a 3-event competition. And we'll get people to like pipe in and like vote and like who do they think is going to take the trophy, and like this could be a whole new thing for us.
Oh yeah.
So I was even thinking we got that the burger contest trophy sitting in limbo right now. So we had a burger contest between Travis and I about a month ago, and we had all our shop guys and all our personnel vote who had the best burger, and it was a tie. So now no one got the trophy. So I think if we raced,
yeah. Well, the trophy is going to be. We still gotta have that between us because we have to have those.
we have a race now.
Yeah, those bragging rights. But now, like I feel like that we can't just stop there. That we will have to call out Bill, because you mentioned racing to Bill, and you know he's all about it. He's going to be 100% in. And we were just talking on our last podcast with Bill that he got he's got with that enduro with that Harley that he does like all that back road racing and stuff like that he's starting to get into, and he's just been bragging about that, you know, that he's getting in shape for this, and like, cause it's like his new adventure. So if you take that and you start being like, all right, let's take that to down there during the rally and let's do some hill climbs and stuff, Bill is going to be all about it. So we might be on to something there.
See, and that's the true spirit of the rally.
Right.
Honestly, if you just come here to party, you can do that anywhere, right?
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Go to a concert anywhere,
Yeah.
but you come here to experience things and really just have a blast. So I think
Well, I'm just kind of reading some of these footnotes that Amy put together for us, and it says, we're a true riders rally. And I mean, that's what we need to go down there for,
Right.
you know?
yeah, yep, that's right. I mean, that's why you go to a rally. It's kind of like, I think I was listening to one of you guys' podcasts about like car shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, how much fun is it to? I don't really remember what you guys said, but how much fun is it really to just take it there, unload it, and then put it back in the trailer? I know that's really messing up what you said, but
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what happens if you come to the rally and trailer your bike down here, go to the campgrounds, and don't go anywhere else besides maybe downtown Sturgis, and you miss the whole thing. And really, how much fun did you have? Where
Right.
if you get involved and are part of it, something you're going to get hooked on and keep coming every year after that.
And that's the point, because to be honest with you, this last Labor Day when we went down there and rode, it was about the riding that, like, it's beautiful down there. Like the scenery, the things to see, just to ride in the area down there is pretty epic. Like there's a lot to see, and that's what I'm about. And again, like I agree with Rob. If I wanted to go somewhere and party, I can party in my backyard. Yeah, I know it's not the same thing. Like I get it, like the bands and stuff. It's still like that's a whole nother end of it. And if you're into that, that's awesome, because they do, like, you guys get great entertainment. So I won't take that away from the rally, because it's like that's another whole. If that's what you're going to go there for,
Part of the fun too.
Yeah, you're going down there and you're going to do it right. So,
And we're not knocking people that
no,
go down there for it, you know?
absolutely
It's
not.
just,
it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And to me, like, yeah, it would still be cool to go down there and see the people, walk through, take in the energy of everybody being down there, and to see, probably one of your favorite bands or whatever. Like I'm not knocking it. I'd still take it in, but it's not the only reason why I would ever want to go down to the rally. Like that's, it's just not for me. If for me to come down there, I would like to ride and take in what it all has to offer. But for this thing to come down there, to ride down there for a purpose and for a reason, and to compete and to get involved into something like with the racing, opens the window, and it puts a whole different perspective on the whole rally itself. Because it's crazy. Yeah, you've never heard of a lot of people talking about that they went down there to check out the races, or they went down there to watch the races, or they went down there and competed in the races. And so that's why I feel like by going down there and doing this, it just opens a window to a whole new opportunity of what the rally has to offer.
Yeah. Well, we've had some pretty fast guys come down from your area up there, like Tanner Reedman.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
If you know him or not.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But
Mm-hmm.
Tanner's a fast dude. And he used to come here when he was younger. We was still racing AMA stuff.
He's never been
every
slow, that's
year.
for sure.
Never been slow. I always felt bad. I never had a chance to. So maybe there's a good chance I get to do this. But we had this rule where if you got caught jumping on a yellow flag, you had to get turned around backwards on the gate. You had to start backwards on the gate on the next moto. And he was leading the race by, I think he was lapping a bunch of guys. Anyway, he came off one of our big jumps, and it was late in the day, and it was starting to get dusty, and he jumps. And our announcer, Kelly Regals, who's a great guy, he goes, Tanner jumped. And so all of a sudden, all of our scoring leaders are like, well, you got to dock him. So we ended up telling him he's going to have to start backwards that day. And on the next gate. He was jacked about it because I think he knew
It was a
he was
challenge.
going to actually show how good he really is. He had
Yeah.
him
Well, he could
behind
do
fast
some racing
everybody.
then. Yeah. Not just run laps.
His dad comes up. His dad, rightly so, was pretty upset about it. But I'd already made the call, and it's like, as a race official, you can't go back on your word. So I'm saying to his dad, well, we made the call, and, just let him show off and show, the superstar that he is. And he's telling his dad, Dad, just let me do it. Just
Right.
let me do it. And so, he starts from behind the pack. And if I'm not mistaken, he either won that race or got all the way back up to second place.
Wow.
And really showed how fast he was. So pretty
Yeah.
impressive guy.
Yeah.
So
And
anyway, Tanner, sorry that was like 15 years ago, but sorry about that, dude. I've always been a fan ever since.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's over it. But just even that accomplishment is pretty impressive. And he's a hard racer. He's very aggressive and he's good at it.
He's actually extremely fast on a mountain bike too. You can just tell his bike control. I haven't ridden right behind him, but I've ridden in the same group.
Sure.
He's a talented rider.
How about Casey Shyrock? Is he still up there?
Shriak?
I don't know.
Shriak, yeah, there you go.
Shriak. I haven't seen Casey in a while, but I guess I'm not sure if he is
He's
or not.
another fast one from up there, guys. You guys got a lot of good, fast riders. Always been impressed with what you guys produce and send down here.
So, are you familiar with the Jackson Hill climbs, snowmobiling?
Oh, yeah. I grew up in Wyoming.
Oh,
so
cool.
That's
Yeah,
where-
well then, yeah.
There you
So
go.
I feel like Jackson is kind of in the way you describe the early stages of Sturgis. I feel like that's what Jackson is right now, where Jackson's still primarily a race event, but it's just. I've never been there, but like I listen to a lot of pro riders that they talk about the experience there, and I feel like maybe 40, 50 years down the road, Jackson is going to be this, as long as the EPA doesn't get involved too much. But
Great.
I feel like Jackson's going to be kind of what Sturgis has molded into current day. If you can kind of relate to that a little bit.
But
Yeah,
only
you
during the
mean
winter.
Event or you mean the town? You mean the event itself?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think even right now, Jackson it's more or less, obviously it's a nice town. You got Jackson Hole Ski Resort, but,
Right.
like within the snowmobiling community, people, when they say Jackson, they're actually talking about the hill climb event. Just kind of like when people say Sturgis, they're actually talking about the rally.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's an epic event, that's for sure.
Yeah.
My parents actually, that mountain, my parents were the people that had the picture-taking business on it for many, many years. So very familiar with the mountain. So during the summer, they would take pictures, and people would come to Jackson. And what are you going to do in Jackson during the summer? Well, they're going to go hiking or kayaking. This is back in the day. Like now, you can do anything in Jackson. But so they would ride the chairlift up, and people would get a picture of them with Jackson in the background. So my parents did that for a lot of years, and then my uncle took it over after that. So very familiar with that mountain. But Jackson itself as a town, that place, have you ever been there?
Yeah. I know Travis isn't the biggest fan.
It's crazy how it's changed.
Yeah.
So there's a hillside there in town that my dad wanted to buy when he was a young man in business. And he went
King?
to the banker. I think the hillside was like $100,000. He says to the guy, the banker, I'd like to buy this mountain. The banker looked at him and laughed, and he said, son, that mountain will never be worth $100,000. Now they're selling stuff for more than $100,000 a square foot.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson, one of those places where the millionaires push out the regular people, then the multimillionaires push out the
The millionaires.
billionaires.
Yeah.
The billionaires push,
Yeah.
crazy place.
Yeah.
Awesome place, though,
Yeah, that place has really changed a lot, too.
for sure.
Yeah. So, hey, how did you know with the rain and everything this year down there? Like, I suppose that just added more fun to the racing and stuff down there, or because it doesn't matter if it rains or not, you guys still hold the races.
We do. Yeah,
So-
we do. So what happened the first day, we were going to have the motocross practice and the motocross race, and it rained so much. It's the first time we've ever canceled a motocross race. And quite honestly, we're kind of known for mud races. We always want to race in the mud when maybe other people don't want to. But we had that much moisture. We had 5 inches in basically 24-hour period. And then we got an additional 2 inches the day of the race. So we canceled the race and the practice on the first weekend and put it on the end of the week. So actually, it worked in our favor because the track, we had so much moisture, just made all of the tracks just fine. So it actually worked out great for us in the long run.
Heck yeah. Well,
And we
sometimes
kind
it
of learned
works.
something in that too. Is I think we're going to switch our motos till the end of the week. It gave us the whole week to prep the track, and it just seemed like everybody was in a better mood that way. So I think that's the way we're going to do it from now on.
Oh, that works. So do you ever get out on the track and race, or do you just, I suppose you're so busy trying to coordinate everything, or do you actually get out and run?
Yeah, I race every chance I get. I don't care what it is. You show up here and you're racing lawnmowers, and I don't have one. You let me race it, I'm going to race it.
Right.
So, yeah,
Or I'll find
any chance
one.
I get to race. That's kind of why I was giving the shout out to Bill. He and I had an awesome race earlier this year. So if there's anybody I'd want to race, it's probably Bill.
Good, because you know what? I actually have to go to Harley here. I think today or tomorrow. I'm gonna find him and be like, "Hey, do you know this Brett Winslow? He says you suck," and I'm gonna see what. I'm gonna be like, "Man,
Don't tell him that. He's
Yeah,
already fast. He doesn't need to get any
yeah,
fast.
I'm gonna be like, I don't know why, but man, this dude was just dogging you and saying you're weak and you're no good. Just get him all worked up."
The thing about him is he will, you get him, that guy's got more determination than anybody. So I don't know if that's a good thing on my end or not. I can get him all riled up.
I think he's got an eternal inner fire burning all the time.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like once you have that racing in your blood, it's hard to get out of it. So it's always there. And I think even just with Bill, even for his age, and I'm not saying he's old or nothing, but I'm just saying, like, as we get older, some people grow out of it, but I don't think he's there yet. He just found a different way to absorb it and attack it with a different kind of riding or different style, but he's still up for that competition part of it. So I know what you're saying. It would be fun to get, maybe if we get down there next year, hopefully we can. Maybe we'll get like all 4 of us out there, and we'll just call it all of us out, and we'll have like this challenge going on.
There you go.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I mean, once it gets in your blood, it's just kind of like what you're saying. It'll be like your metaphor for life. It's why do I work? Why do I do what I do? So I can race, or so I can ride. So
It's like
definitely. That's what I always tell all my young guys here is I'm going to be 90, maybe 100 years old coming down the motocross track the wrong direction, and you guys better like it.
you guys. Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah, it's like sometimes Travis and I will have a stressful day at the shop and, be busting our ass for weeks straight. And it's like, why do we do it? Well, we do it for bike parts, obviously. I mean, bike parts aren't cheap,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I get that.
But
No, that's awesome. It really opened my eyes to see what, like just kind of like I said earlier in the podcast, I guarantee if you walked like through the mall or anywhere and just be like, hey, you know what Sturgis is, how did it get started, what it's about, and I think you'd be surprised how many people would probably say the same thing, that it must be a bunch of bikers that got together and started partying and stuff like that. That's not actually really how it truly started. But it's amazing that, again, I've known about the rally for years, and I've never knew that this existed at that level, and it's awesome. Like, I really like it. gives me a whole new meaning on coming down to Sturgis and what it's about. That to take in a participant like this would be fun, and I think an honor to do something like this.
Well, you guys are sure that we're extending a welcome to you anytime and any event you guys want to do. We'll make sure that happens.
That's awesome.
We love doing it. It sounds like you got a lot of fast stuff. We even do dirt drag. So if you guys wanted to do something non-rally that's a dirt drag, or even during the rally, we can do dirt drag stuff too. So pretty much anything you can dream up that you guys want to do, we'll do it.
So do you guys hold this stuff like this throughout the year? This isn't something that you just put on once a year during the rally, or is it only during the rally?
No, we go throughout the whole year. So we do hare scrambles. Early in the year, we did one this year. It was rain, snow, or shine, and there was still snow on the ground, and it got done snowing, and we still raced it. And it was, some of the ruts that the guys were going through, they're just rubbing their foot pegs all the way through it. Everybody had a blast. You couldn't see their numbers or even what kind of bike they were riding, just because everybody was full of mud. We also do like ice racing in the winter. This year we're going to do something called ski juring. So we're going to do motocross ski juring. We're going to hard pack the motocross track with the snowcat, and then set up the tires, and then pull a skier behind a dirt bike and race that way. So it's going to be the first year we've done it. But if you ever want to check it out,
that sounds extremely dangerous, and I like danger.
Yeah, like what kind of
wait, what'd you just say?
What kind of a waiver do you got to sign to get in?
So did I hear this right? You're gonna ice up a motocross track and then pull skiers behind a dirt bike on that motocross track, right?
Yep. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Well, what about that? Does not sound fun.
Oh yeah, we've kind of messed around and done it ourselves.
How are you guys getting away with this?
Yeah, how do you? Yeah, how? Like, this is your first. You guys tried it, but you've never actually done it. So, like, you don't know if it'll get shut down, because I can't imagine how there's not a liability in something like that.
On racing stuff like that, there's a
kind of get free reign. I see.
You pretty much sign your life away before you start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you know what you're getting into. But
hey, I guess how this thing goes.
I feel like I got better odds jumping off a bridge. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that just, I've never heard of that before, but it kind of seems like something that Jackass put together on one of their shows. Awesome, and got like, hey, let's all do a shot of Patron. Let's get some Harleys. Let's stud the tires. We'll get like a 6-foot rope so you're right behind the bike, and then we'll just pull you as fast as we can in a circle. Like, what about that does not sound like a great time?
I mean,
we do a lot of that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's smart or not, but it sure is fun.
Yeah, like you said, earlier, it's all about the memories, and it's all about telling the story. So that'll definitely.
That being said, you want to email me a couple entry forms?
Yeah.
We will do it. If you want to check it out, just look up Red Bull ski juring, and you'll see it. There's a bunch of these Russian guys, and we figure, heck, if the Russians can do it, we can do it too.
Well, absolutely.
It would be the Russians that would start that.
I think we can do it better.
Okay. Sure. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm like, did I hear him right? Did he say that correctly?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to check it out, because sounds like a great time.
What we'll do is we'll go out and plow off the lake out here and plow a track on the lake, and we do ice racing during the winter a lot of times too. So we never really quit. And then there's a whole group of us that set up our tires, and we're the Jack Pine Gypsies. So that means we ride in the Jack Pine. So we ride all winter long, snow or not, up in the hills. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we never really quit.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah, that's
ride as much as you can.
Yeah, well, that's what it's about. Well, that's awesome.
Never a bad day on a motorcycle.
Never.
No, you know what? I'll have to give you that. There isn't. Seems like it always gets better when you get on the bike. For me, it is anyways. But,
yeah,
man, this is awesome, Brett. I love like I learned so much. It's great talking to you. I'm definitely going to
Likewise.
talk to Bill about tell him that you talk trash to him, and that get him all worked up. He'll probably be emailing or calling you if he's got your number and probably confronting on you. But hey, it's all good, right?
That's good. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
And I'm definitely and I'm serious. I'm actually going to talk to him about a challenge down there. I think we're on to something there. And it's like, why not? Let's make the best out of this. Let's try to make something fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we can promote it, make another podcast. We can do a live deal, make it a big thing. People can, chime in and say, make comments, and we'll get you in on the deal, get you involved. And like I said, it's all about having fun. And why not? Nobody's ever done it before. Let's do it. Let's start something. We got to start you working out. Like,
Yeah. You're telling me.
yeah.
Yeah, if it's stated on the podcast, it's official. It's
stamped. That's a done deal.
Yeah, it's almost like signed contract and ready.
So
So
less than a
Looking
year.
forward to it already.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it was a pleasure, Brett.
That was awesome, Brett.
I'd love to come down there, even just before Sturgis, and just check out one of these races and just see what it's all about and get to meet you and stuff. So I think that maybe we'll get into contact. We'll exchange some numbers, and I'd like to come down there and see this thing and just check it out. Kind of so I can pump up Rob
Sounds
here on
good.
what to expect for the racing.
I'm already
Looking
pumped up.
forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys just give us a call or however you want to do it, and
Cool.
we'll make it happen. Huh?
Sounds good.
Really looking forward to meeting you guys.
Yeah, that's
Likewise.
awesome. Thanks, Brett, and thanks for taking the time out to visit with us on this podcast. And it's awesome to hear about, again, like how the rally got started, and I'm glad that hopefully you got to answer a lot of the questions that people are probably thinking and filling us in on how the rally actually got started. So again, thanks. I appreciate you coming on our podcast. And again, people can check this out on 1270 AM Super Talk Radio on Saturday mornings. It's at 10 o'clock, so you can hear it live. Also, you can check us out on our Spotify or YouTube channels. Check out our website, dakotacustoms.com, our Instagram, TikTok. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free, drop them in anywhere in there, and we will get them, and we will comment back. And until then, stay tuned to our next episode, our next podcast. Thanks for listening.
See you guys.
See ya. Thanks, Brett.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks for listening to Unriveted Radio. Also available on demand with the SuperTalk 1270 mobile app. Download in the App Store or Google Play today. Unriveted Radio, presented by Dakota Customs, a full-service custom garage on the Strip in Mandan.
Program has been paid for by Dakota.